Have you ever noticed how expecting the worst starts to feel normal? It's odd, isn't it? How some people call that being realistic. But what if that isn't realism at all? Just a well-rehearsed version of fear. The normalization of doom and gloom is part of the collective psyche right now. War, cost of living, climate panic, everything seems designed to keep you braced. I used to live that way too. I didn't expect good things to happen to me. I lived on like high alert, like a rabbit in headlights. And I lived most of my life in sadness, not realizing I was a prisoner to it. The sad stories of my life looping in my mind on repeat, programmed to seek more reasons to stay in it. And what I realized is the matrix will always try to steal your joy. It survives by keeping humanity stuck in low-level emotional states: sadness, worry, fear, grief, guilt, and that big one, anxiety. It literally runs on feelings of dread. Why? Because those frequencies are easy to control and keep looping. One day I realized that I was actually waiting for life to hurt me. I was literally waiting for the next sad story of my life. And it was through that pain that I finally made a conscious choice to choose joy, not only as a feeling, but as an act of defiance. I realized that sadness wasn't just a feeling, it was a frequency that I was broadcasting. And of course, like attracts like. So, of course, life responded in kind. And, recently I've been thinking, and, is it just me, or have you noticed that the predominant choice of TV program right now is horror? And can you see how fear, gore, and chaos lowers your vibration? There's a reason it's called a program. And why is there a shortage of comedies these days? If joy is the highest frequency, why are we not being invited to laugh more and to feel lighter? I realize that true joy interrupts the control loop. The matrix cannot control a joyful being because joy is not programmable. And this is when life begins to shift. It's not naivety. This is advanced soul technology. One day I realized that sadness was like an addiction. And in that moment, I chose to rewrite the script. I was tired. I was really tired of reliving this sad story. And I finally wanted something better for myself and for my life. And of course, the paradox is that the moment you choose joy, life will test you. And clients ask me, this is a question that pops up a lot. I'm doing this thing and it just seems to keep getting worse. Well, it's not. It's refining, it's testing. So and it's actually a gift to see that, oh, that thing happened again, so that we can see, oh, I'm actually in the process of rewriting the script, of changing my reality. So, how do we choose joy consistently and gently? Because it really takes discipline. We live in this world that's kind of built to pull us in and distract us or disempower us or siphon our light. And so, some simple ways that you can choose joy daily is start to notice where you're giving your energy to, what you're giving your energy to, and then start saying no to draining habits or people, as well as your own inner narratives. And this is really key because I remember I would start setting boundaries, healthy boundaries with other people. And someone actually shared this with me, so I'm very grateful for that. They asked me, well, why am I not setting that same boundary with myself, right? With those internal narratives that go on. So that's really key because joy is not a luxury that just happens occasionally. It's our compass. And, you know, we want to be catching the story. So when we notice that we're back in that looping cycle and we notice, oh, there I am again, identify, well, where have I defaulted to? You know, for me, I said it was sadness. I'd be back in that sadness loop, revisiting all the sad things that had happened. And then we can ask, you know, well, what is the lesson here? What am I finally ready to see? And then what's the wisdom in this? You know, what wisdom have I garnered from this experience? And then what doorway is this now opening for us? And then when we start to do that internal, what's it, self-inquiry, then we can start to make those shifts gently and consistently. Because we want to anchor this new frequency. As I said, it's a frequency that I was broadcasting. So we want to be broadcasting a new frequency to attract what it is we truly desire. So we anchor this frequency through pausing when we notice that we're looping again. Pause, take a breath, be present here now. Notice when I'm present, when my mind isn't, revisiting the past or worrying about the future, I'm right here. And right here is pretty much always a safe place. We might help our body start to feel more safe by gently humming or toning the body, releasing the fight, flight, fear response, relaxing the vagus nerve. Because again, we can't really experience true joy in our body if we don't feel safe. And so we start cultivating that feeling, showing our body that it's safe to feel joy again. And then we take conscious action steps to start to reprogram our reality. And this is energy mastery. This is pure alchemy. Because, and this is this week's resonance note, joy is not the opposite of sadness, okay? It's actually what arises when sadness is no longer running the show, when it's no longer in charge. And it's our natural state. Joy really is our natural state. And so if you're walking this path of soul embodiment as I am, and that you're ready to dissolve these patterns that once kept you kind of braced for disappointment, then I invite you to explore my work, from my Substack reflections to one-on-one soul path mentorship. Because, together, we're not just going to be talking about joy, we're going to be becoming it. So I'll drop the links below. Have a great week.